just did a whole introduction and I forgot to turn the microphone on, but here we are, here we are. Hello, my name is Otto, aka Sonotto, and this is Void. You'll be tuned in for me from 6 till 7 p.m. This is Saturday the, gosh, what day is it? The 13th. And I cannot wait for this one actually, because I released my first album called We Are Labels last Thursday, and honestly I cannot tell you how lovely it is just to release such a huge body of work that has been in the works. Actually, literally, the first song that I made on it was in 2020 in April, and it was finished, actually mastered and everything at the end of 2022, but it took a year of making the artwork and music videos, etc., for it to finally release this April, on April the 4th. And the reception has been so heartwarming. It's honestly, to hear the message of people listening to it and just telling me their favorite tracks, it's just so lovely, because I feel like you can't really control how people see things and how people react to things, which is, you know, on one side of the coin, terrifying and scary, because it's like it feels like you're putting yourself out there and, you know, to be judged. But also I think it is, or I'm more inclined to say it's part of the beauty of art, is that, you know, the meaning that you have with art when you create it and you put it out is almost gone, because actually how people see it, you know, that everyone's going to see it in their own unique ways, and I think it's a beautiful thing to hear that, and just to feel almost like the music isn't your own anymore when you put it out in the world. It's just art out there, and it can be seen and touched and heard, and it can touch people in ways that you wouldn't even imagine it would. You know, people have said to me stuff that it made them feel certain ways and certain emotions that it wouldn't even cross my mind as the person creating it, and it's almost like kind of, it's very emotional to hear all this stuff. So yeah, so today I'm going to play the whole album, of course, and then in between each song, I'm just going to share just little bits, even actually for myself, the process I went through actually making the track, and when I made it in the moment, because I haven't really gone through my memory properly since releasing it, and actually since finishing the music in 2020. The process and where I was when I was making it. So it's going to be, for me and for you, this is going to be one and only time I'm going to talk about this and share the process of each of the tracks. So yeah, I'm really excited, and thank you, Void, for having me again. I cannot wait to share this with you. So this is the opening track on the album. It is called Veil. You can find all this stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc. And you can find me on Instagram at SNSONOTTO. All right, this one is called Veil.
Is he home? I don't know. Check the front door. Is he there? All alone. All alone. All alone. Alone. Is he there? I don't know. Is he home? I don't know. Check the front door. Is he there? All alone. Is he home? I don't know. No. Check the front door. Is he there? All alone. All alone. All alone. Is he home? I don't know. Check the front door. Is he there? All alone. All alone. All alone. Alone. Is he there? I don't know. Will you just come in? Say hello. I want you in my room. Is he there? I don't know, but I want to know. I don't wanna let you go. I don't wanna let you go. I'm afraid, afraid of the one inside, of the one inside. I'm afraid of the one inside, of the one inside, of the one inside. Is he home? I don't know. Of the one inside, of the one inside. But I want to know. Don't be all alone. Just come inside. Be alright. Is he home? I don't know. But I want you home. Is he home? I don't know. Check the phantom, is he there? All alone. All alone, all alone. Love, love. Is he there? I don't know.
Hello, it is Sonotto. You are tuned into Void. And that was the first track off of my debut album, We Are Labels, called Veil. I'm going to be talking you through the album on this show, because why not? And yeah, that was the opening track called Veil. And I recorded that, made that in, I want to say, it was January. No, it wasn't. It was April 2021 I made that. And I was in my first student accommodation, my first year of BIM in Bristol. And actually, funnily enough, that track was the first track I ever performed live, actually, at Dean Lane Skate Park, to be honest with you. I don't know if anyone was here in Bristol in 2021, but there's quite a few people who I've come across, who actually went to this show at the end of April. Oh. Hello, Will. Will. Turn me up. Thank you, Will. Will is turning me up because he likes the sound of my voice. And yeah, I performed that track that was just played called Veil at the end of April at Dean Lane Skate Park, and it was still kind of lockdown time. And I remember I was doing my Deliveroo sessions, and I saw these guys putting on these sort of, low-key, social distance events at the bottom of Dean Lane Skate Park, and they called it the Buskers Banquet. And I sent them my music because I said, oh, I really want to perform for the first time because I've never performed my music. And the guy, Samuel Wolf, who I still know very well, you should go and check out his music, he heard the music and he said, listen, mate, we want you to headline this show at the end of May, because they did sort of one big blowout show at the end of May. And there was maybe 400 or 500 people turn out, because at that time that was the only musical event that was going on, and I must have went on at about midnight or 1 in the morning, I can't remember exactly when it was, and I opened with that track, and it was the most surreal experience because everyone was there, was wanting the music, and when the beat dropped on the second half of it, I remember just going like, Bristol, let's fucking go. And I still actually use some of that, to some of this footage that my friend Alina, who's now my bassist, filmed to promote some gigs, because the energy was just unbelievable. And I think that moment really cemented my love for music. So I owe a lot to that track that I just played, which is the opening track on the album called Veil. Really, really important track for me. Right, now this is the second track. This is called I Love You, But I Do Not Need You. was I Love You But I Do Not Need You by myself. You're tuned into Void. Wonder how many times I'm going to say that on this show. But yeah, I'm going to be your host from 6 or 7 p.m. And I released my debut album last week. So for this show, I'm going to be going through each of the tracks and just sharing some thoughts and memories about each of those tracks and what actually happened during the creation process. That last one, I Love You But I Don't Need You, was actually produced in February of 2021, a little bit earlier than the first track on the album, Veil. And I remember that actually just being an instrumental for a really long time. And I always thought, God, it's just missing something. And I remember that I came across a wonderful Bristol band called Run Logan Run. And I actually saw them on a live stream at the Bristol Beacon. And I thought, hang on a minute, I'm in Bristol. So I literally went to the Bristol Beacon, saw them play live, and I messaged the saxophonist called Andrew Neil Hayes, sent him the music, and he immediately fell in love with it. And he just said, okay, let's work together. So I got him to Hum Studios, and we recorded the sax part in, God, 2 or 3 hours, and he just literally just improvised over the whole thing over and over and over again. And unfortunately, all of it was pretty much golden, so I had the nightmare task of going through, what was almost hours of recorded sax, just, meticulously arranging it and putting it over the track. And what came was this sort of, what feels like a sort of a frenzy of sax and just crazy beats and instrumentals and stuff. I feel like this is the most Flying Lotusy track, I think, on the album. It really just makes me feel super primal, especially at the end of it. Yeah, super special track. And a lot of people's favourites, actually. I've been asking people who listen to the album, what's your favourite track? And, I reckon about 30% of those people say I Love You But I Don't Need You is their favourite track. It's interesting. Everyone seems to have a different favourite. And let's see if this third one is your favourite. This one is called Need. This is the third track on the album. That one was called Need. Yeah, I was on my phone because I was trying to find. I remember there was a Snapchat I recorded of me actually performing that bass line when I first made it back in April 2020. So that was actually the oldest track I produced on the album. And unfortunately, I don't think it's on my Snapchat memories. hardly use Snapchat these days. But yeah, what I remember actually from that track is a little bit more in depth than that. Actually, I actually remember going through my first breakup, and I remember us speaking to my ex-girlfriend at the time, in one of those kind of closure conversations, you know, at stupid o'clock in the morning, and then waking up afterwards and just feeling very hazy and kind of like I'd let go of a lot of stuff. And the song just came out in the afternoon, literally. And I remember genuinely feeling hazy. That's kind of the word I felt. And that song came out in, I would say, less than a couple hours, even if that. And yeah, it was just a very pure moment of creativity. And I remember at the time actually really kind of connecting with it, but I didn't have a lot of intention of releasing it. And then it wasn't until I finished all the music on this album, you know, about basically at the end of 2022, that I thought, hang on a minute, this works perfectly in the context of this body of work. So it's come all this way. It's almost, well, it's 4 years old now, actually. 4 years old, that track. And actually, for me, that's one of my favorites, because I feel like it's the most untouched. It's the most of that time and of that moment. Like, the only thing we did with it was just mix it. I didn't add anything, didn't take anything away. That was how it was in April 2020. So it's a time capsule for me, and it's very special. Yeah, definitely. Right, on to the fourth track. This is called Infinite You, I Lost Myself, which also actually has the music video for. This is one of the tracks I did the music video for on the album, which has very excitingly just premiered on The Skinny, which is Scotland's #1 music magazine. So I was literally, you know, hearts fluttering when I got an email saying we'd love to premiere this and put me as their spotlight on artist. So you can read that article online and you can see the video. It's going to be premiering with them exclusively for this weekend, and then it's going to go public come Monday. So yeah, go and check it out, please. Right, this is Infinite You, I Lost Myself.
I wish we could be forever. Who knows where we go together? I wish we could be forever. Who knows where we go together? Who knows where we go together? I wish I could be forever. Who knows where we go together? Make the wrong choice forever. I wish we could be forever. Who knows where we go together? I wish we could be forever. Who knows where we go together? Running down the street forever. Running by the window together. Nobody's stopping us forever. 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 I could be forever. Who knows where we go together? Make the wrong choice forever. I wish we could be forever. Who knows where we go together? I wish we could be forever. Who knows where we go together? We can make the wrong choice together. We could be holding hands forever. We can make the wrong choice together. We can rejoice forever. I wish we could be forever. Who knows where we go together? I wish we could be forever. stopping us forever, forever, forever. We could make the wrong choice together. We could be holding hands forever. We could make the wrong choice together. We can rejoice forever.
That's actually the most popular song of the album, as far as streams go, at least. Yeah, that one was produced. Oh, sorry, I should introduce myself as well because people might be joining now. So this is Sonotto. I've just released my first album, We Are Labels, last week on April the 4th, and I wanting to share it with people and just talk about actually the process behind each of the tracks and how they kind of came to be. So that was the fourth track on the album, Infinite You, I Lost Myself, and it was recorded. Oh God, to memory, I think it was June 2021. I think the inception of that came, and yeah, I remember just all I kind of remember doing is the vocals. That's all the memory I kind of have. The rest of it is sort of a blur. And I remember sitting on it for a really long time and having just the first part of that song done, which was sort of a 2.5 minute track. And then I always felt like I wanted it to go somewhere, to go a little bit deeper. And then it wasn't until maybe, oh God, start of 2022 that actually the second part kind of came to me in sort of a haze at, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Those sort of the pitch shifted chords that you can hear on the latter half of the track. And then I got one of my close friends, Holly Bradley, who I met at university, to come and do the vocals, and I think they really just finished it off beautifully right at the end with a little sort of ad lib. And yeah, very emotive track, and it was the track that actually is the music video for the album. Is to this track, Infinite You, I Lost Myself, which you can find online if you go onto the Skinny and go search Sonotto. They're exclusively premiering this music video for Infinite You, I Lost Myself this weekend, and then come Monday it's going public. You can find all the links to this as well if you go onto Instagram and Facebook at SONOTTO. And yeah, just really, really love it. I don't know what I think about that track actually. It's so distant now since when I made it that doesn't really feel like me anymore. I can just kind of enjoy it as a listener. But yeah, right on to the fifth track, and this is actually the title track. This is called We Are Labels, and yeah, title of the album and title track. This one, yeah, has had a lot of evolutions, but yeah, it made it. This is what I call like the peak of the album before it kind of sends off. So this is mid-album. This is track number 5.
Watching it fly by, watching it fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Watching it fly by, watching it fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Watching it fly by, watching it fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Watching it fly by, watching it fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Watching it fly by, watching it fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Watching it fly by, watching it fly by, like a dream, like a dream. watching them fly by, watching them fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Like a dream, like a dream. Watching them fly by, watching them fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Watching them fly by, watching them fly by. I see you, it's not a dream. 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 I see you. Watching them fly by, watching them fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Watching them fly by, watching them fly by, like a dream, like a dream.
That was the title track off the album We Are Labels. Also, I thought I wanted to say, actually, as soon as that finished, I'm saying watching them fly by, like a dream, like a dream. Some people thought I was speaking French, actually, when they heard that track. Yeah, I actually, from a completely detached point of view, I really love that track. I think it really kind of just goes in such peaks and troughs and stands by itself as just quite a strong arrangement. I mean, that when did I produce that? That was July 2021, and I remember I had COVID with one of my really close friends who actually came down to the launch event from this, bless him, all the way from Scotland, and yeah, we had COVID and were isolating together for 10 days, and I turned his attic in this tiny little place in Scotland called Linlithgow into kind of a makeshift studio while we're all sort of feeling really ill, and that popped out at me, that track, and at least the first half of that track did, and then the second part of it, like the breakdown, by Kate. The breakdown and the breakdown and the beat slowing down. That kind of came to me actually when I was in actually a storage, like a village hall opposite where my mum now lives up in Perthshire in Scotland, kind of came to me where I thought, where the hell is this track going to go? And I made this new sequence of beats and synths. Also, a lot of that sounds is from a Volca modular that I kind of sampled as well. So that's kind of analog sounds you're hearing. And I just remember going, what if I just turned down the BPM right at the end? And I remember doing it, just kind of going, oh my God, that's it. That is it. Just the BPM slowing down. I think it goes from 100, what was that BPM? I think it was 137 till about 100 108, something like that. You know, dropping a good 30 BPM right at the end, and I felt like it just made the track. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that is the title track off my debut album, which was out last Thursday. And you can find it on Sonotto, on Apple Music, Spotify, and on Instagram. And the music video for the track I played prior to that, if you're just tuning in, is now premiering on the Skinny. So you can find that on theskinny.co.uk. Right, this is Deep Throat. This is the sixth track on the album, the penultimate track.
Watch until dusk falls. Sooner or later, will be with me. Watch until dusk falls. Sit with me.
I love that track. Actually, 3 years ago, I made that one. That is track number 6 off of my debut album, We Are Labels, which was out on the 4th of April last year. And we're going through each of the track on the album, and I'm sharing some thoughts about the process that was behind it and kind of what was in my mind when I made it. That track is the 6th track on the album, and you could say kind of the breather track from what is otherwise a very kind of experimental electronic record. That is actually, what you're hearing there is actually just me playing one bass guitar and just layering it, and then just with my vocal. That's all it is. It's just layered bass guitar. And yeah, it's a very personal track for me, that one, I feel. What I remember vividly is actually I made that. I can kind of say it in open now, actually. It kind of feels weird to be so distant from it. But I remember an ex-girlfriend of mine, actually, and I was viewing her Instagram because it kind of popped up in a recommended, follow this person. And I hadn't been with this person for, a year or so, but I remember in the moment of being with them, being so in love with this person that I almost, to leave them, I had to kind of trust in life that if you're meant to be with someone, it will be, and you just kind of got to let the process happen. And yeah, I think after I watched that on social media, um, I just felt this huge amount of energy just wanting to, kind of channel through, and this track popped out. And what I'm saying in the lyrics is, where will we be, watching till dusk falls, sitting with me, sooner or later, hope you're with me, watching till dusk falls. And yeah, it was one of those, popped out in less than an hour, I even want to say. Very pure, didn't change anything, right up until the point of release, just a mix and a master. Yeah, and actually, when asking people what their favorite track is on the record, that one is always on their list. It might not be number one, but it's always seems to be there. It seems to touch people in an interesting kind of way. So, and it's lovely because it's a very personal track for me, but clearly it resonates with people in ways that I can't even imagine. So, yeah, one of the beautiful things of releasing music is you just don't know how people are going to see it. So yeah, this is now the final track on the album. This is called One Day. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in if you've been here from the start. If you haven't, please find me on social media. I'm Sonotto. I'm going to be switching over to Aquatronic 6 after me. And you can find all this music on Spotify and Apple Music, or you can go onto Instagram, on Facebook or whatever, at or at SONOTTO, and future gigs and future releases and stuff. So yeah, thank you for listening. This is the final track on the album. It is called One Day. was the final track of the album, We Are Labels, which was released last Thursday, 4th of April, which is my debut album actually as Sonotto. And that was called One Day. Thank you so much for listening to the whole thing. It's a real pleasure to share it with you all and to share the process behind it and what kind of happened. That track I actually remember, that last little bit of like that kind of tongue clicking, I remember having in my head for an excruciatingly long time and thought I have to make a song off of this. And I did, and that's what it was. That runs throughout the entire song. And yeah, January 2021, that one came out, and was one of the first one that kind of started this whole idea of making this album. And yeah, really, really awesome. So if you want to listen, if you like what you heard, you can find it at Sonotto on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and you can find myself on Spotify and on Apple Music, all that stuff. And also that track I just wanted to mention as well has been premiered on The Skinny, and I've been made the cover of their playlist, which has been, really kind of wow kind of moment. And also they are premiering exclusively the music video for the track Infinite You, I Lost Myself, which is streaming exclusively on The Skinny. You can find it on their website this weekend and is going public on Monday. All right, thank you so much. I've been Sonotto, and yeah, have a lovely weekend and enjoy the show if you're actually here to watch what's going on in Lost Horizon. All right, handing over to, who am I handing over to? Jojo, not Acatronic 6. Why does nobody let me know? Hello. Nice to meet you. Also, can I close the door for 1 second? Look, these guys are really lovely. Look, Will's down here just finishing off something, but my little leaflet is still on the door. Look, wait. You see that? For the album that I came last month. They've still kept it on the door, which is really lovely. Sorry, I just wanted to do that a little bit. All right. Thank you so much, Void. I will see you next month.